We all know Superman, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, and Captain America are all physiologically different, but did you know that ordinary humans in superhero universes are a completely different species or subspecies than the rest of us? Here's how. We know and get that people with superpowers aren't anything like us, but trained costume vigilantes hold a special place in our hearts because we hold the dream that with enough training, we could be Batman. Well, you could, but only for about 3 years tops, after which you would be a complete mental vegetable with arthritic joint pain. Cracked has broken this idea down, and with the number of times Batman gets punched and beat up along with new studies on concussions from boxers and football players, Batman or Green Arrow would have so many concussions that their brilliant genius would begin waning, no pun intended, by their second year, and they would become violent and aggressive, and in the end, easily taken down by the police as a bad guy. It's possible that they wouldn't even make it that far. Masseuses are known for having arthritis, and often have to switch to something else halfway in their life just due to joint pain. Our joints are pretty weak, and sports injuries ensure reduced flexibility and reaction ability, something a costume vigilante definitely needs. Batman would have to have an entire joint specialist staff on hand just to provide physical therapy for a couple weeks after every time he goes out, instead of just having Alfred or Dr. Tompkins patch him up when he gets beat to hell. Another example of this is the number of mid-air catches that physicists say would cause serious bodily damage to many people, and at best they would still have their brain continue to move forward while their body is stopped, causing a massive concussion, as well as jarring on the joints. Tony Stark would be a mentally damaged vegetable even faster than Batman from the high-speed crashes from his suit. Humans in these universes are heavily susceptible to positive mutation. In evolution, if we have a mutation, it's 1 out of a million that will cause a jump in positive evolution, deemed only positive by the environment, and even that trait will be diluted by the rest of the population and slow the species heading in that direction unless there's a massive die-off without it. Most mutations are barely noticeable, and just slowly expand the genetic gradient and variety of the species, and it takes many generations before the energy expenditure versus the payoff calculation pays off. Humans in the Heroverses, on the other hand, have radical leaps in mutation that defy physics at around 1 to 100 rate of beneficial mutations to negative mutations. Alien manipulations are explained in both universes as having been the cause of this. On top of that, their psychology is all wrong. Studies show that violent criminality reduces drastically with education and lowered poverty. The superhero universes seem to show none of those having any impact whatsoever. Most of Batman's villains are PhDs, as are many of Superman's. Lex Luthor would be a business criminal, but hardly someone who would bother to try and take down Superman. Humans of our world try to do the least amount of effort when it comes to committing a crime. Most violent crimes occur due to poor impulse control and the inability to calculate cost-benefit analysis that is correlated with low education. In the hero universe, all humans have an intense drive, and for some people, probably around 15 to 20%, are just naturally bad people, and around 2 to 10% are good people, and the rest are neutral and can go either way based on their circumstances. It's why Gotham is so corrupt, and as superpowers are handed out by lottery, there are way more villains with superpowers than heroes. Crime is everywhere and easy to find, always. Mind you, humans are also way smarter in the hero universe than we are. In our world, a genius is really good at a certain focused set of things, as humans have limited brain power. They offset this being good at something by often being really bad at a lot of things, especially social things, because there are a ton of skills and too much to know. In this world, that is the division of knowledge, labor, and skills. However, the hero universes are based off many myths on intelligence and genius, meaning they are an advanced race of people, which is probably helped by their less easily damaged brains. Batman knows all the things. Mr. Terrific is a genius at everything. Mr. Fantastic is so smart he can run a lab all by himself with automated parts he designed while dealing with cold fusion and quantum physics, as well as metahuman physiology. Even Spider-Man not only got superpowers, he also just happened to be a genius who made a chemical webbing fluid that any one of our scientists would be getting a Nobel Prize for. Frank Miller and Zack Snyder were heavily influenced by Ayn Rand's objectivism, which heavily relies on the ideal of the rugged individual being able to survive outside the system to get what he wants. Labs aren't like that at all. No one person can ever be good at all of physics, much less physics and a bunch of other fields like robotics and biology. To get really good, you have to be very focused on getting really good at one subfield in a scientific discipline. then you need an army of lab techs or interns to help you physically do tests, and if you have a cross-field research, you need a colleague who is an equal to you in that field. Lastly, they seem to be very resilient when property is damaged. Either they are stronger than us and super efficient at repairing metahuman damage, so it's just a minor annoyance, or they have governmental subsidized metahuman insurance, as no insurance company on the free market would be stupid enough to fund that. Their FEMA must be super efficient and very well funded. I was watching an episode where Captain Cold was attacking the Flash in a museum and set off the sprinkler system. Just water or smoke damage alone, even if walls haven't been damaged, is millions. Non-powered vigilante humans, as much as we love them, are still metahumans compared to us. They were based on the Shadow, Sherlock Holmes, and the Lone Ranger. Based on the old knights, who were myths in and of themselves, who are great to learn positive things from, but never really existed. But considering how much magic and alien intervention they had mucking with their evolution, it's probably only natural they would have better coping mechanisms than us.